Hey y'all, it's me. I'm back again. It's been a while since I did a video, but I wanted to share something with you. I know I've talked about this breaking free Bible study time and again. I've talked about it and I've been at it for months, but guess what? I'm finishing, ooh, my camera. I'll just hold it. I'm finishing week 10 now. There's 10 weeks in the study and I have 1 day left. I'm so excited to just be done with this and having gone through it. You know what I mean? It's taken months, a lot longer than it should have. And I was like, oh, you know what I mean? But I was determined to finish it no matter how long it took me. But I was going to share some stuff from day 4 of week 10 with you, okay? I'm going to read Isaiah 58 and 6 through 12, then share some words that Beth Moore wrote in the Bible study in the middle of day 4 of week 10, okay? Isaiah 58 and 6 through 12 reads, "Is not this the kind of fasting I have chosen, to loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke? Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe them, and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood? Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help, and he will say, 'Here am I.' If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness, and your night will become like the noonday. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and will raise up the age-old foundations. You will be called repairer of broken walls, restorer of streets with dwelling." So to me right there, that was like, okay, the Lord promises a lot for our obedience. You know what I mean? So our obedience is not really so much a sacrifice that we just give to God but he promises us so much from those verses, just from those verses, not even from the entire Bible, but just from those verses in Isaiah. He promises us such goodness for our obedience to him. You know what I mean? And I wanted to share some more of that chapter, but first I'm going to read this. Beth Moore says, "Obedience to God often entails not going our own way, not doing as we please, and not even speaking as we please. But if peace is the fruit of righteousness, then joy is the wine from the fruit. Joy ultimately flows from obedience, and few things display God's splendor more appealingly than joy. Think I'm stretching the analogy a bit? Check out John 15. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. If a man remains in me, and I in him, he will bear much fruit. This is to my Father's glory that you bear much fruit. If you obey my fruit, this is to my Father's glory that you bear much If you obey my commands, you will remain in my love." I'll start and read the last line again, but I caught that. "I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete." Slap Isaiah 32:17 next to John 15, and here's what you get. Peace is the fruit of righteousness that in essence is obedience to God's commands, the product of abiding in the vine. The wine that flows from the ripened fruit is joy. Close today's lesson with a celebration verse that puts it all together in a display of God's splendor. That wasn't even the part that I was intending to read to you. There was another part that she read, that she spoke of that I was going to read, but I ended up reading that. But it goes perfectly with what I just read. There's something else that I'm going to read to you because I never read this before. It's the end of chapter 58, and it was so cool to me. It's about keeping the Sabbath, but God is so good, y'all. If you keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath and from doing as you please on my holy day, if you call the Sabbath a delight and the Lord's holy day honorable, and if you honor it by not going your own way and not doing as you please or speaking idle words, then you will find your joy in the Lord. And I will cause you to ride in triumph on the heights of the land and to feast on the inheritance of your father Jacob, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. That was Isaiah 58 and 13 through 14. Let me see. This video is 6 minutes long. Oh yeah, I wanted to read this part too because she Isaiah 58 and 6 through 12 was read at the beginning of this day. Day 4, so I'm going to read some more of this. What is God proposing we fast from in these verses? In the margin, list as many possibilities as you can. Perhaps a leading question might help. What do we have to give up or fast from to reach out to the oppressed? I said comfort of having our own space and time. And she went into a little spiel of some testimony that she had, but I wanted to read at least some of this to you. God took me to the other side of the world to supply a few answers to these questions. In India, these verses came to my mind more than any others. If you're looking for a fun little mission trip, keep India out of your travel plans. I'm not sure any other nation is quite like India. You never get away from its suffering. Pain follows you down the streets in the form of orphaned, filthy beggars. It penetrates your hotel room with the eerie sound of Hindu music played to appease at least 300 million gods. That's scary. Agony stings your eyes as you stare at the sea of poverty. It retches in your throat when you smell the rotting flesh blocks away from the leper colony. When I returned, people asked me if I had a good time. No. Actually, I didn't have a good time. I had a profound time. I will never be the same. I can't forget what I saw. What kind of fast did God require of me as he sent me to minister one-on-one to the oppressed? A fast from comfort. A fast from my pretty little world. A fast from rose-colored glasses. The fast I enjoy in Houston as freeways loop around the inner city to keep me from facing the poor. I can live days on end here, stay in my very own neighborhood, and choose to deal only with pretty problems that smell better. I can choose to fast from poverty and oppression, but if I do, I'll never have a heart like God's. And I'll end it there, but this Bible study has been exceptional, and like I said, it's taken me a long time to finish. Tomorrow, hopefully I'll finish Day 5 of week 10 and be done with this study, and I'll have this book forever. Maybe someday I'll go through it again, but I pray that somebody was blessed by these words. And if you have any questions about this study and how you can get it, I can look it up and research it from you. My pastor gave me this book, actually. But I love y'all. Especially those of you who comment now and then. It's really awesome, and I don't get very many comments, but I know that some of you are watching, and I have faith that my videos are touching somebody's life. You know what I mean? When I do them, because the Holy Spirit, I feel, prompts me to do certain videos. But yeah, this was a great a lot of stuff to share with you. I know in one video, and the theme could be this or that, but really I wanted to share some of breaking free with you. Beth Moore does some awesome Bible studies. I also did Daniel. Like a year ago, I did Daniel, and I never actually finished that. I still have the book. my church is starting a Defiant Joy Bible study that my pastor really wanted me to do, but I decided not to because it took me so long to finish with this one, and I have other things of the Bible that I want to study. Actually, today I signed up for Joyce Meyer's 30-30 Bible Challenge, Bible Study Challenge, to spend 30 minutes a day in the Word for 30 days so I can make that a habit. But yeah. So also comment if you want to join the Bible Study Challenge. Just go to Google 30-30 Joyce Meyer Challenge, and it takes you, the website will pop up and you can join right there. But I love you all. God bless you, and goodbye for now.